Hey everyone, welcome back to Same Scene, Different Score. Today I bring a brand new take to the scene made by our friend Mayar Nouri's short film Signals. This time, I let go of the proms. I let go of the big synth energy. And also of those eerie vibes. And instead, I went to town to inflict real damage to the score. But in a good way. Mi nombre es Luis, live from Heavyocity Studios. Let's do it. So, as you may have heard, we have a very special new product out, Damaged Drum Kit. And of course, I had to explore how a score driven by a massive drum kit would sound like, using this mighty new instrument, which features thousands of beautifully recorded and carefully crafted samples housed in the very, very, very epic Damage 2 engine. And this scene was just waiting for an aggressive drum kit to drive its rhythm forward. There was no guessing regarding what this instrument could or should do. But I also wanted to make sure that the drum kit is not just a supporting instrument keeping time and hyping up the action, but a device for epic storytelling that is able to accentuate and highlight the emotional roller coaster that this scene takes us through. What I ended up discovering was that through different composing, mixing, and sequencing approaches, I was able to develop a hard-hitting score that evolves, but also has a steady, beating heart made of rock and roll. But what's the point of me telling you all about it? Let's listen to it. The same scene, different score. So I was thinking of the score to Birdman, which is written by Antonio Sanchez, and it's pretty much drum heavy, and it's incredible. You're not relying on just the steady grooves to tell a story, but he's performing all of these amazing flourishes and figures and patterns just to be able to convey the specific emotion at any given time of the story. So this is what I tried to do at the beginning. I wanted to start sparse, create a sort of soundscape, and I'm using the ensemble designer, which allows you to place the drums in very specific parts of the stage. And it also has the performance settings, which allow you to create these flourishes that I was mentioning. The first element is the Buddha kit. Pete Buddha kit. Simple little flourish here and there. Little filter. And these little flourishes, I sequence myself to add that human element and also take advantage of the match grip. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. This is a really cool feature of the product that allows you to more accurately recreate a real drummer doing real things. The real cool part are the toms. To add extra movement, I can use the settings just to create very quick flams and really nice cool flourishes and rhythms. Taking advantage of the time and velocity randomization, it allows for these to feel more human. Also makes it so much easier to sequence what could be very complex figures. Not only that, I can place all of these drums in different parts of the stage, which makes this same drum kit, which is the one drum kit that we'll be having through the whole score, feel like it's in a slightly bigger space. The next part of this soundscape is comprised by the loop designer. And we have just flourishes too. These are like breathing flourishes. What I like is that it's also a hint of the rhythm that's to come. Which brings me to the next section. Slow down the tempo. Right cymbals for more openness. And that should be a cue for anybody to, hey, our main character is going to start running. And guess what? He starts running. Let's see how it happens. In terms of story, at this point, the chase is on. He has a mission, he has to go get it, but he's still like getting ready. He's still like catching his own breath, which is why I feel this snare figure plays so well with that. It's syncopated, it's a little disjointed, it's a little disorganized, but it goes with the heavy 4-on-the-floor beat from the loop designer. But then with the ascent effects, there's like a nice combination of reverb plate, reverb hall, and it's highly compressed, but it's also gated, which gives it like a very cool like pump feel. And then everybody else. At this point, the rhythm kicked off, so we don't really want to stop it at any point. But how can we convey if there's a moment of hesitation in the character or a moment of realization, which is what happens next? Basically, what I did is I stripped down the rhythm and I moved the kick drums and I put them in a different spot, and I went back to the original soundscape idea. So then right after this, as the character starts running up the stairs again, I'm relying at this point on the loop designer, which comes super in handy because it adds just the right kind of syncopated groove that I was looking for in this moment. It also has that little moment of a fill. This next section features my favorite kit that I used. I used several presets, and the kit designer, this one called Big Overdriven Comp, which is just like, as you can imagine, it's big, it's overdriven, and it's compressed. And I did something I enjoy doing when sequencing drums. There are points in which I want to take advantage of the magic of sequencers and being able to use the piano roll to create inhuman moments. That in this case, it's such a cool, rapid crescendo. And that combined with the analog warmth and the processing of the really pristine, really recorded samples, it sounds really cool, sounds really gnarly, sounds really great. And since Big Overdriven Comp is so compressed, I added some extra kicks on the Buddha kit just to add some more low end on that moment. Also, this is the one moment of the score in which the drums are completely exposed. So I want to make sure like there's still like a nice range from bottom to top. And for the last section, I went to town with the sequencing. I had a lot of fun creating this drum groove that sort of like stumbles, but it still locks into place. Just like our character, he's in a crunch. He's in a time crunch to make this hack happen. So I wanted to like the rhythm not only to be exciting, but also reflect his personality. And at this point, I have these 3 different kits that I was using, and I thought, why don't we just use them all and see what happens? Ultimately, it's the same drum kit, but it's different mix. So it's kind of like having parallel compression, parallel destruction, parallel everything. It's the same drum kit, 3 different mixes, come together, huge, massive sound. Let's listen to them separately, which is pretty cool. Clean and punchy. Fires in the attic. Crunchy and fiery. Overdriven Comp. Big and wide. All together. So for me, it was very important to be able to tell the story just with the drums. But ultimately, having the drums as a centerpiece allows you to use other instruments just to highlight and just to bring them to life. And then I recorded some distorted bass, distorted guitar. I added some start effects as well. Because ultimately, I'm using the ideas that came from creating the drum parts to inform everything else. This complement very well the soundscape atmospheric quality of the drums. And some stutters using Gravity's motion engine. Big and open. And now me playing some bass. Fun fact, 2 basses. There's something epically cinematic about a big, hard-hitting drum and just like amazing drum groups. Then we have the part where the drums are poorly exposed. It's just like that little moment of the roller coaster just before you fall down. And then bring everybody else. And then bring the guitars, to which there are 2 sides of it. There's like a big, open, full of reverb wail, and there's also like a fuzzy, heavily crunch, trying to see if I'm able to use the drum composition as an inspiration. Very fuzzy. And then the more open, the more wide, the more like huge rock and roll moment, sort of like a big soundscape. You could hear there's a stutter. I just thought, hey, let's do that to the guitars as well and to the ending. So there you have it. As you can see, drums equal rhythm, they equal action, but they also equal storytelling. It was so much fun to use Damaged Drum Kit, to use this heavy-hitting instrument to create a compelling and very epic storytelling arc that also like has this rock and roll energy to it. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, check out the other takes on the previous scenes below, and I will see you around when I do yet another different score to yet the same scene. Have a good one. And this time I let go of the drums. I let go of this big synth. Oh! Yep, big synth energy.